Edu Gaspar has just revealed that he was surprised by the performance of a star in Arsenal's overwhelming victory against Sheffield United. And former Arsenal player Gilberto Silva drops a bombshell about Arsenal's £100 million target. Stay with me until the end of the video to understand everything that's happening behind the scenes at the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. Kai Havertz produced a scintillating display as Arsenal tore Sheffield United apart on Monday evening. The German was picked by Mikel Arta to lead the line at Bramall Lane, and caught the eye with the impressive nature of his hold-up play, the way he linked up with teammates in passing moves, and the clever runs he made to create space and opportunities for himself and others. The 24-year-old was rewarded for his efforts with a goal and an assist. Whilst Arsenal fans were blown away by Martin Odegaard, Havertz was equally impressive against the Blades. The former Chelsea man put the Gunners 4-0 up with just 25 minutes on the clock, as he lashed a convincing low strike into the bottom corner. Then, in the 58th minute, Ben White was able to round off the scoring as he connected with Havertz's cutback and drove the ball into the back of the net. Declan Rice and Edu lead applause for Kai Havertz. Much was made of Arsenal's decision to sign Havertz in the recent summer transfer window. After all, he had never managed to impress consistently in his time at Stamford Bridge, and he arrived at the Emirates Stadium looking desperately short on confidence. Havertz came in for plenty of criticism in his early days at Arsenal, as he struggled to adapt to Arteta's tactical demands. However, he is now an established figure in the regular starting 11 and has been in impressive form for some time. Havertz deserves plenty of credit for the manner in which he has fought his way into form, despite having so many doubters and detractors. After the win against Sheffield United, Havertz took to Instagram to share a celebratory post. The likes of Odegaard, Declan Rice, Leandro Trossard, and Edu were quick to reply with a variety of emojis, which expressed their admiration for the attacker. Chris Wilder admits one Arsenal player tore Sheffield United to pieces in 6-0 win. Arsenal were at their brilliant best at Bramall Lane last night, and Sheffield United simply had no answer as they were thrashed 6-0 at home. Mikel Arteta's whole team were outstanding, with Martin Odegaard particularly impressive in what was one of the most comfortable games in recent memory. There were 5 different goalscorers in addition to Jadon Bogle's own goal, which was created by Bukayo Saka's fine cross. Whilst Saka did not register a goal himself, he was a menace for the first 45 minutes, after which he was withdrawn at halftime due to sickness, and he provided an assist in addition to creating the own goal in what was an electric display. Sheffield United manager Chris Wilder has now praised Saka's performance and admitted that his side were powerless to stop the England winger. Chris Wilder praises Bukayo Saka after Arsenal victory. Speaking after the game, Wilder admitted that whilst his side were far from perfect, Arsenal's incredible quality, and Saka in particular, was too much to handle. I don't think we were very good. We didn't gift goals away, but in certain situations, we could do a lot better from a defensive point of view. They were outstanding, especially when they got around the edge of the box. Their quick play was incredible, he stated. We made it pretty easy for them to open us up, and Saka took us to pieces down that side. We didn't have an answer to anything they had. The result is what the result is, and we have to live with it. Former Arsenal player Austin Trusty started at left-back in a surprise tactical move, and this backfired completely as he could not get anywhere near Saka. In just 45 minutes, Saka created Bogle's own goal, assisted Declan Rice's strike, created 3 chances and completed both of his attempted dribbles. Saka found space down the right-hand side, as Sheffield United chose not to double-mark him as others have done this season, and he was able to get in behind the defense on a number of occasions to play the ball across. His low-driven cross was turned in by Bogle to double Arsenal's lead, and at the end of the half, he chose placement over power to find Rice, who scored with a first-time effort. Saka has been in fantastic form in front of goal recently, and he also hit the post within the first 2 minutes yesterday. Whilst he did not add to his goal tally, his performance was devastating and helped Arsenal win the game within the first 15 minutes. Former Arsenal player Gilberto Silva has now been encouraging the idea of Mikel Arteta bringing another Brazilian to the club this summer. Although busy navigating an important fixture list right now, Arteta and his team must already have one eye on their business this summer. Edu Gaspar worked shrewdly last year, bringing the likes of Declan Rice and Kai Havertz to the club early in the summer. And fans must expect that the club will attempt to emulate that success once again this year. With that in mind, Gilberto Silva has now been discussing the idea of Arsenal bringing Brazilian midfielder Douglas Luiz to the side before the start of next season. Silva was speaking to journalist Chris Wheatley in an interview recently and admitted it would be great to see a talent like Luiz swap Aston Villa for his old club, Arsenal. Gilberto Silva says Arsenal should sign Brazilian midfielder Douglas Luiz next season. Silva was asked what he thought about the idea of his fellow Brazilian coming to Arsenal in the near future. He replied, "If not in the next season, then maybe at some point. He's progressing, he's improving, he's very well adapted to the Premier League now. And he's proving himself that he can go to the next level. I personally really enjoy when a Brazilian player comes to the Premier League, which for me is the most difficult league to play, especially for South Americans, to come and adapt and do well. But he is proving that he can and is doing a great job, and I'm happy to see another Brazilian come to the league and they are doing a great job. It keeps the doors open for the Brazilian market, keeps the attention on Brazil, and why not Arsenal next season? It would be a great move for the club, I guess for him too. Too expensive? You'll be hard-pressed to find an Arsenal fan who wouldn't agree with Gilberto Silva in saying that the Brazilian midfielder would be a great player to bring to the Emirates. But with a £100 million price tag now rumored, is that a price that would represent value for Mikel Arteta and his team? A striker is also thought to be on the agenda for Arsenal this summer, and a deal that expensive may leave little wriggle room elsewhere. All that being said, perhaps a defender who now has 20 goals and assists combined could actually be the perfect signing for Arsenal to kick off the coming window. Mikel Arteta now tells 30-year-old to earn the right to play for Arsenal again. Mikel Arteta has now told Thomas Partey that the midfielder has to earn the right to play for Arsenal again, having finally returned from his injury against Sheffield United. The 30-year-old made his first appearance since October 8 as Arsenal cruised to a 6-0 win on Monday. Partey had not played in the Gunners' previous 24 games in all competitions due to a thigh injury. He had also only played for 15 minutes since August 26 after a groin injury. Partey sustained his thigh injury during training at London Coney and ultimately required an operation in November. He and Arsenal both hoped the small procedure would allow for the Ghanaian to return in time to represent his country at the Africa Cup of Nations this January. But further setbacks blocked Partey's attempts to regain fitness around the new year. Arteta was also loath to rush the 45-cap anchor back into the Emirates Stadium team's lineup after a lengthy layoff. But Partey trained without issues ahead of Arsenal visiting Sheffield United. With Arsenal also cruising to a 6-0 win, Arteta used their trip to Bramall Lane to hand Partey some minutes. The midfielder replaced Jorginho in the 65th minute to help see out the win. The 25-minute cameo yielded more action than he had seen since his groin injury in August. Mikel Arteta challenges Thomas Partey to prove he has the right to play. His cameo at Sheffield United was further just the third time through 6 appearances across all competitions this season that Partey has been in Arsenal's midfield. Arteta unleashed him as a makeshift right-back prior to the Ghanaian's groin issue in 3 Premier League games. Now, Arteta has challenged Partey to prove he deserves further minutes in Arsenal's 11 after returning from his injury nightmare. The Gunners coach also admits the midfielder needs to keep increasing his workload given he has only enjoyed 366 minutes so far this term in total. Thomas is available now to play a certain number of minutes, Arteta said, via the Arsenal website. He needs to build that because it was his first minutes after 4 months, which is a long time. And then, like everybody, you need to have the right to earn the minutes. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.